but what you get in return is so abundant, it's indescribable.
Because I know that from my own kind of experiences. Like some girls will say, "I've never had a guy want to go down on me so much," and I was like, "What?" It's like I don't get why girls seem to be taught that it's like they've just got to try to get as much pleasure from it as they can, or they've got to fake it, not to hurt the guy's feelings. That they're almost like second class when it comes to sex, and it's anything but. And it really annoys me just that there's so many selfish lovers out there. And I think this is the great thing about the book is you're showing people how sex can be next level when you actually think about the pleasure you're given. But how do we stop cock blocking ourselves? How do we avoid letting that voice in our head saying, no, no, you're not worth it. You're small penis, you're this, you're that. Because, you go in a great detail about like the penis length and different vagina sizes, etc. But how do we stop that little voice in our head that says, really? You think you're going to satisfy her? How do we stop ourselves fucking up before we've even got in bed?
The good news is that you don't need to stop it, and those voices never go away for anybody great too. Like you don't think Michael Jordan have a moment of doubt. He trained himself. It's not like he doesn't feel those things. I
Hmm.
think great athletes and great champion learn to work with that voice in their head. But the thing about competency is that when you have real competency and you know what you're actually doing, is very different when you play you're Michael Jordan playing basketball or Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen. Like it feels completely different. But you're never
Hmm.
gonna get there if you let that voice rob you from expanding your skill level and your competency. But once you get it, boy, if you're talking about satisfaction, I talk about beyond satisfy, right? As in many ways, it's about the part about giving her pleasure, but it's so satisfying when you know what the fuck you're doing and you're doing it, like for the person who's doing it. So it's not, it goes both way.
Because I love how like detailed it is, and there's like the angles to show you of how to put your finger, the level of pressure to put in. Then you click onto the QR codes, and it takes you exactly there. But you don't just go into how to make them orgasm or how to make them squirt and stuff. You go into things like aftercare, which is almost like most guys seem to think it's, oh, go get something to eat after. But I love how you talk about the goddess baths. You talk about make all the emotion that's built up during sex and the connection, how you need to be there for each other, how you can connect better after it and after the act. How do we start using aftercare? How do we implement aftercare to make sure that we're connecting better afterwards?
I also think it's that sometimes like men think we're doing those tricks just for women, like to give
Hmm.
them aftercare. It's really about completing their entire experience of connecting with someone and their level of generosity from the other side. I don't know how many guys have gotten a blowjob from a woman that you just gave her the best sex of her life. That blowjob is very different than the blowjob that she would give you in a normal circumstances.
Yeah.
So it's really about you being awesome. In some way, it's the real hero's journey when you are really earned the admiration that you're receiving. It's a completely different experience, and all the emotional connection